Assalamu Alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a great day. Do you want to find stocks that Wall Street might be sleeping on right now? In this video, I'm going to break down 5 potentially undervalued stocks you could consider buying next week. And these are great companies. Some of them are dividend kings, some of them are excellent, excellent free cash flow and so on. So I'm going to give you the brief information about each one of these companies, but potentially if you are interested, of course, as always, do your own research. And one of the things that I'm paying attention to right now is basically what has happened in the S&P 500 in 2025. And as you can see here for the 1 year, we've got the best performing sector in the S&P 500 is information technology. Of course, we knew that. Communication services was the next one, 20%. So this one was 23%. This one is 20%. Industrial did really well, 20%. Financials about 15%. Materials about 12%. Healthcare 12%. Again, I clicked it basically for 1 year, so that could potentially include in the last couple of days and so on. But healthcare 12%. Healthcare at some point was actually quite low, but it's done well towards the end of the year. So we've got about almost a 13% growth for the healthcare sector. Utilities have done really well. Consumer discretionary is okay, 10%. Energy, consumer staples, and real estate are the basically all sort of they're not the losers, but the ones that have not performed well. But you'll be surprised to see what happens when we click. So you would expect the the XLK, which is basically the information technology ETF, to outperform year after year, and it's been doing that for quite some time. But when I click the last 5 years, watch what happens. Check this out: 124%, almost 125%, basically is the energy. You wouldn't expect that, would you? And 120% for the information technology sector. Then it's financials, industrials. Again, the ones that have not done well is real estate, consumer staples. Materials is, historically have done about 2-3% every single year. This year, because of some companies in the materials have done really well because of AI, energy needs, and all of these things. Same goes for the utilities. They've done okay. Now, overall, this is where we are basically for the 1 year. Okay, and what I'm doing right now is looking at energy, looking at consumer staples and real estate, and picking some of the winners in there, that potential winners in the future. So some of the companies we're going to talk about today will be in the consumer staples, and hopefully I haven't included any energies or real estate, but we will potentially talk about that in the coming weeks, inshallah. If you enjoy this type of content, it takes a lot of time and effort to put these videos together. Please press that like button, and of course, if you can join us at the Patreon account, that will be absolutely amazing. And by the way, if you join us and pay, just join the annually, so pay for basically for a year, you will actually get a 20% discount, which is quite nice. So if you're interested, have a look at that. And now I'm going to share with you guys these 5 companies. Like I've always said to you, please do your research. Okay, I'll give you brief information about each one of the companies. And first one we're going to talk about today is Colgate. Colgate is one of those companies that have underperformed over the last year. And what I want to do now is just kind of give you a little bit of information. This is a dividend king. They have been paying that dividend for over 50 years. Profit margin, return on equity, return on investor capital is probably one of the best out there. They have $2.7 billion of free cash flow. EPS is expected to grow about 5%, which is normal for this company, and revenue about 3%. Morningstar is saying 7% undervalued at this point in time. $87 per share is where they think the price should be. Right now is 81. Now, if we look at this, you can see here, basically Morgan Stanley is actually upgraded this to, and basically it's got about 13% upside from where we are. $87 per share is where they think the price should be, which is basically same as what Morningstar is saying here. Now, annually, if we look at the revenue side of things, and if you look at this, you can see over the last years, the company has basically in terms of revenue side of it, is about 4%, 5% growth. And that's what you expect from this company every single year. Net income, when it comes to EBITDA, things like that, absolutely fine. Free cash flow is actually grown last year. So if we look at, what am I looking at? Okay, let's look at annually. That's probably better. So if you look at annually, you got about For the last 5 years, we've got 5% growth for this one. If you look at the EBITDA, net income, and things like that, it's absolutely amazing. The free cash flow, 3.55%. That's basically what we've had. I updated it. This was a little bit of a mistake. So overall, it's a great company. But we want to now see if it's actually undervalued. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to look at is what Wall Street is saying. Is 7 strong buys, 6 buys, 7 holds on 1 strong sell, and as you can see, it's about 7% upside from where we are. Again, everybody agrees on basically with each other. So $87 per share is where they think the price should be. In terms of earnings expectations, I've already shown you next year. So the year after is about 7%, and then another 6%. So that's what you expect from this type of business. 3%, 4% is about the revenue side of it. It's, sleep well at night type of company, has increased that dividend for a very long time. You get 2.5%. You get annually. That's what you will get. The payout ratio is quite low. So this is the type of business that you want to hold on your portfolio, just to kind of stabilize it, because as you've seen, not every single year basically technology is going to win. Some years technology might not win. 2022, that's exactly what happened. Who came to the rescue? The energy sector. And it can happen for consumer staples. So that's what you need. That's the reason why you need a very balanced portfolio. The next one is Fair Isaac Corporation. This is one has is down quite a bit, in fact, about almost to 14% for the 1 year, which is absolutely crazy considering how well the S&P 500 has done. And as you can see here, it has about 21% upside from where we are. It has excellent decent free cash flow. It's got excellent EPS growth expected next year. Revenue is exactly the same. And if we go back here and just have a look at the ratings from Wall Street and see what they're saying, as you can see here, 8 strong buys, 4 buys, 5 holds, and 1 strong sell, and it's about 23% upside from where we are. It's about just $2,000. So similar to what Morningstar is saying as well. And when you look at the revenue growth from this company over the last few years, it looks absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, it's about almost the last 5 years, we're looking about almost 9% growth in terms of that. In terms of EBITDA, in terms of net income, the free cash flow is growing, but the free cash flow needs to grow slightly higher, and it is actually getting there. EPS is actually absolutely amazing. You've got 27% in the last 5 years in terms of growth side of things. They're buying back their own shares, so really good company. And by the way, before we move on, I just want to do one more thing for Colgate again before I forget. As you can see here, the normal PE that we normally use is about the fair value of basically that 15. That doesn't work for this company, but if we use the normal multiple for this company, this is based on the estimates. This is based on the normal multiples, which is that 25, 26 PE. That's the company has been trading over the last whatever years. If you look at that and basically buy the stock right now based on that, your 10,000, you'll make about 4,500 on top of that, or total annualized rate of return of 13%, which is quite nice if you think about it. So going back to this one here, if we go to the earnings expectations, look at the estimates here. You can see basically 2026 we're expecting about 36%. Then in September 2027, 26%, 18%, 18%, 17%. Really good growth there in terms of EPS, in terms of revenue, double digits. Really good. Wherever you look at, basically this company is doing an absolutely amazing job. And if it carries on with that type of growth, of course that's what will help the stock price go up. The better the company is doing in terms of revenue and EPS, if they're both growing, of course the company is going to do well. Now if we use the normal multiple, which is that basically 42 PE over the last whatever years, you buy this stock right now, your 10,000 will become about $15,186. And the next one is MSCI, one of my favorite companies out there. Excellent dividend, excellent growth side of things. It's got $1.4 billion of free cash flow right now. EPS expected to grow about 13%, revenue about 9%, 12% upside from where we are. If we look at, for example, this company in terms of revenue growth, it's really amazing, about 13% over the last 5 years. If you look at things like the EBITDA, the net income, the free cash flow is actually growing massively. Last 5 years we're looking about 17.5%, which is nice. When it comes to EPS, is growing about 16% over the last 5 years. They are increasing that dividend every single year, so the last 5 years they grew that dividend about 18%. This is one of the reasons why I own this company, the dividend growth side of things, as well as of course that price appreciation, the fact the company is doing really well overall. Now if we look at the basically year to date, it's down about 3%. year to date, basically just last 9 days or whatever, 1.4% up. If we look at the Wall Street expectations for this company, 8 strong buys, 6 buys, 1 hold, 1 sell. And if we look at the price, it's about 13% upside from where we are. These guys are saying more or less the same. So 650 is what they think, 657. So these basic Wall Street and also Morningstar valuations are very, very similar in these days. Now, if we look at this one and use the normal estimates, so if we're using the estimates, the basically that 12%, you buy this stock right now. Of course, this company has been trading higher than basically those multiples over the last whatever years. In fact, about almost to 45 PE. If you buy the stock based on that, right now, then of course your 10,000 will become almost to 20,000 US dollars. So another one that I genuinely think is basically undervalued at this point in time. I would have bought if I basically was starting, if I didn't have a position already, and my position is slightly up. I'll share it with you guys at the moment. And normally this is the type of company where I give myself about 10% margin of safety. So this one is over 12%, which is quite nice to see. Okay, we got 2 more. If you haven't pressed that like button, please do so. The next one is Arista Networks, one of my favorite companies out there, 155 billion market cap. It has a wide moat. I don't know if you noticed, but every single one of these companies has a wide moat, which means they have a sort of a like competitive edge when it comes to within their markets and so on. $123 per share right now. Profitability side of it and how effective this management is really doing well. Free cash flow is excellent, 17% EPS growth estimate next year, 22% when it comes to that revenue growth, 13% upside from where we are, which is interesting. By the way, this is one of the companies that have done well basically last year. So if we look at how they've done, about 7-8%. So it's not basically down a lot, and it has a strong buy rating right now, 18 strong buys, 6 buys, and 4 holds. And if you look at a 32% upside from where we are, we're now looking about 13% from here. So their price target is $163 per share, and these guys are saying about 140. So not much of a difference. But if we look at the company in terms of the growth side of it, revenue for the last 5 years growing about 23%, which is really nice. EBITDA is growing, the net income is growing, the free cash flow is also growing about 31%, which is absolutely huge. In terms of shares outstanding is slightly growing, which is not good news, but again, this is still, I wouldn't consider a growth company. I think it's becoming a mature company sooner or later, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But really good company in my opinion. If we look at the fast graph and you're using those estimates of 20, in fact, let's go back here. I just want to show you what's happening over the next 5 years or so. So 2026 we got this, December 2027 we got about 21%, and then 22% up, almost 20% there. Revenue is almost the same as well, which is really good to see. And if we use that estimate for the next couple of years, we are losing quite a bit of money. But if we talk about the normal multiples for this one, again, if you bought this stock right now, these 10,000 will become about 14,244 US dollars. Now, I wouldn't, of course, I would definitely say this is one of the companies I would at least give myself 15% when it comes to that margin of safety. The reason I say that is because it's quite volatile stock. Basically, trade is like one day is up 4%, next day is up down 10%, so you have to be careful with this one. And the final company we're going to talk about is Procter Gamble, another dividend king. We started with the dividend king, we're going to finish with 331 billion market cap, so it's not a small cap, basically cap at all. Doing really well in terms of profitability, excellent free cash flow. The growth for this type of businesses, like I've always said to you guys, you're expecting that 5%, 7% in terms of EPS, and revenue side of it about that 3% to 7%, 10% if you're lucky. But right now it is not cheap. Okay, I would not say it's still cheap. 4% when it comes to the upside side of things. Let's have a look at how the stock performed last year. So we're looking about almost a 13% down last year, and the last 6 months is actually down about 10%. Wall Street is saying is a buy right now, 10 strong buys, 4 buys, and then 10 holds, and it's about 17.5% from where we are right now in terms of growth. $166 per share is where they think the price should be. These guys think it's about $148 per share. Now, looking at the financials for this company, as you can see here, the last 5 years they grew that revenue about 3.5%. In terms of EBITDA is growing, the net income is growing, the free cash flow is slight decline, so it's about basically from $16.5 billion to right now $14 billion. EPS is also heading the right direction. Shares outstanding are declining, and the dividends are absolutely amazing. We've already seen that, so they're growing that dividend about 6% for the last 5 years, which is quite nice. So you're getting that nice dividend. On top of that, you're getting a little bit of price appreciation. If we go back here and have a look at this, if you use the normal estimates, so the estimates for about that 5% basic growth for the next couple of years. So 2026 about 2%, then 5%, then 5% of the following years. If you bought this stock right now, you'll be losing about 8%. So you'll be losing about almost $80, $800 of your money and your 10,000 investment. But if we use the normal multiple, which is that 24 PE, which is basically where the stock has been over the last 5 years, and you bought this stock right now, you will be making about another $4,267 on top of the money that you've initially invested. So that's the 5 companies I wanted to share with you guys. Again, some of these companies I would love to, especially this one here, I would love to give, I will definitely give myself a list minimum of 15% or higher margin of safety. I really like this one. I like basically FICO or Fair Isaac as well. These 2 companies are really basically solid compounders. I like those 2. Colgate is a decent company again, but I do have a Procter Gamble which is quite similar. So although I used to own it a long time ago, it's another interesting one. But I do have a couple of those companies. I added Clorox basically recently to the portfolio, so I'm not really interested in buying in this one. But the rest of them, of course, this one I do own it, this one I do own it, I'll show you in a second. But this one, very, very, very interesting one. So that's probably one I will be adding to the family portfolio. Now, if you haven't pressed that like button, please do so. Don't forget to join us at the Patreon account, and let me quickly show you. So we have the first one is MSCI. So this one I'm up about 5%, it's almost 6%. So I do own about 15 shares right now. My price is right now $531 per share, or 410 pounds if you like. And the next one is Procter Gamble. This one is in the red, which means I have been buying over the last few weeks. I've got 55 shares right now. I'm $144 per share is my average. It's about now 141. So I'm going to continue buying. I want to round this up at least to 60 or potentially 70 shares overall. We will see how it goes. I really like the business model. I do buy their product without even thinking about it. Every time we go to the shopping center, we go to the supermarket, we just buy their products without even thinking about it. I've been using Head and Shoulders for donkey years now, and I'm going to continue using that inshallah, because I do like the products. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you are, press that like button, join us basically in the community. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like about these companies that we talked about. Do you own any of them? Are they on your watch list and so on? Yeah, let us know inshallah. Have a wonderful day. Assalamu Alaikum.